Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Talk About Sex with Sandy. Tonight we are talking about personal lubricants, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So for people who don't know me, my name is Sandy O'Shea. I am a sex and hormone nutritionist, and I help people who are having problems with low libido, with a boring sex life, with any other kind of hormonal issues, whether it's sex related or not, and also just for good nutrition. But the fun part of my job, the most rewarding part of my business is actually helping people who are having sexual health issues, like just not a great sex life, or who are having some issues with low libido. Um, Next week, we're going to be talking about a failure to orgasm for a woman. It's came up last night at a meeting that I went to. Someone had inquired about that. So I'll tell you more about it next week. This week, it's all about lube. And there's different reasons why you might need lubricant. Sometimes women, as we get older, we lose some of that lubrication. There's something called a Bartholin, I think it's Bartholin, I can't remember the name of it exactly, gland that actually sits. And I didn't even know about this until fairly recently, which is kind of weird, but and cysts sometimes form there, and they can cause a lot of pain, discomfort. But they are responsible for woman's lubrication, and they sit just outside the vagina. So, and sometimes that's not functioning as well as it could be. Not necessarily because there's a cyst there, but just maybe it's not nourished the way it should be. One of my favorite supplements for helping with lubrication rather, is internal use of vitamin E. Might sound a little odd, but it's worked really well for me, and it's also helped some of my clients. So about 400 to 800 IUs of vitamin E a day, depending on your circumstance, can certainly help. But sometimes it's not even so much that you're having any kind of hormonal or health issues that might cause some dryness, but sometimes it's just, you know what, you got a lot on your mind, you're not as turned on as you could be, that would help. Or quickies. Man, if you're going to have a quickie, a lot of women don't get wet enough fast enough, so use the lube. It's a quick and easy thing. It just makes sex a whole lot more enjoyable. So what kind of lubricants? Water-based are the safest, cleanest, most effective ones. They're safe for use with condoms. They don't upset the bacterial balance in the vagina. So you can basically be using water-based lubricant. The next option would be silicone. They're usually good with toys. The water-based is good with toys as well. But if you're using silicone, and yes, I have notes just to make sure that I've got all the names right, make sure that it only has dimethicone or dimethiconol as their form of silicone. Those are safe for your vagina and also for condoms and toys. But you might want to just check it on a toy in inconspicuous spot just to make sure. Those are the good ones. So those are the ones that I recommend. The bad ones, now we sell at the store that I work at, we sell the Lorna Vanderhaeg. It's called, oh God, I think it's called Love. And it's water and glycerin, I believe. And it's actually really nice. It's not sticky. It's very smooth, very clean product. So that type of thing. The other thing, the other one that I really liked, they have two different kinds. They have a water and a silicone based one, but it's called Fuck Water. Um, and I absolutely love it. So those are kind of my two top recommendations. The bad forms of lubricants, personal lubricants, glycerin, not recommended. They get stickier as they dry out. They can cause condoms to break. So if you're practicing if you're practicing safe sex for either just safe sex or for protection from pregnancy, you don't want them to break. It's also, glycerin is a sugar derivative, so it can actually ferment inside the vagina and cause infections, and that's not good. Some products like KY jelly contain chlorhexidine gluconate, which is an antibacterial agent, which sounds like a great idea, but it also kills the good bacteria in your vagina. There's a balance, both in your gut and your vagina, that you want to make sure that you maintain, and that is the balance between good and bad bacteria. It's not something you really want to talk about or think about, but that's, we're made up of trillions of cells of bacteria. Ingredients to avoid are fragrance and flavor, which also cause irritation. They also often contain sugar, which can cause infections. And sugar, yeast will actually feed on sugar. So you definitely don't want that. Because sex is supposed to be fun. Sex is supposed to be amazing. It's not supposed to cause infections. You also want to avoid anything that contains BPA, phthalates, and parabens. So those are the three big no-nos. The next type, those are the bad ones. The ugly ones, from the research that I did and just thinking about it, is cooking oils. I don't know who ever decided that coconut oil was a good idea to stick up your vagina. It can damage condoms. It can damage sex toys. And worst of all, it can upset the bacterial balance in a woman's vagina. It is antibacterial. Antibacterial means killing bad bacteria and, unfortunately, good bacteria. So I'm not a fan of cooking oils, period. When it comes to a lubricant, it can get, there's a lot of woman's vagina. And the labia and the whole bit. The last thing that you want to do is for oils to get trapped in there, and then they go rancid, and then they cause problems. So it's just, please, spend a couple of dollars and get a good, clean, water-based product that doesn't have any phthalates, BPA, or parabens in it. It's going to be a lot healthier for you. Petroleum-based lubes, they're nasty. They trap bacteria, clog pores. Mineral oil leaves a petroleum residue. And then you've got waxes such as beeswax, shea butter, and jojoba oil that stay in the vagina and change how the vaginal skin replaces itself. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? So spend a few dollars, go to either a sex shop or a health food store, and get yourself a decent lube. As far as anal sex is concerned, the glycerin is a little bit better. It lasts a little longer than water-based. Sorry, not glycerin. My apologies. The silicone ones. That's what I would use for anal sex. And so outside of that, that's about it, I guess. You just want to make sure that you're using a clean product. You've got to be, I mean, the biggest concern is vaginal health, because what you put in there has an effect on your health, you know? And the other thing is condoms. I mean, you don't want them to break. You don't want them to fail. Whether it's for infection or pregnancy, it's like, it really doesn't matter why you're using them. You just want to make sure that they retain their integrity. Friends of ours ended up pregnant because they used a condom, but it broke and they got pregnant, and they're not the only ones. So, so that's about it for me for lubricants. So if you can, okay, I'm talking mostly to the guys, but hey, women, this is for you too. Women take a little while, and everybody is different. So women, generally speaking, take a little while to get heated up and to get nice and moist. So please take your time. Make sure that she is nice and moist, and sex will be a whole lot more enjoyable, and you'll have to use less in the way of lubricants. Ideally, you would use fewer anyway, like less lubricant, unless it's really necessary, but please use a clean product. And I think that's it. Just a little aside, I did want to, talking about sex, I did want to just mention, for those who haven't seen anything about it, this coming Tuesday, Carolyn Willman and myself of Idea Majesty are conducting a workshop, and it is called A Modern Guide to Dating, Sex, and Love. So she's going to be walking you through the online dating scene. I'm going to be teaching you how to be your healthiest, sexiest self, so that when you do meet the right person, you can really enjoy it and it will last. So take care. Love you guys. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye. Mwah.